So guys, hi. I think we're live now. It's always hard to know when you go live, regardless of what media you use. Today I'm using the GoPro, as you might see, because I'm out taking a walk. And I want to talk to you about something today that I think most of us, we take for granted and we kind of miss out on this. And I think it's unfortunate that we do that, because it's important. And what am I talking about? I'm not gonna hold you waiting on this, but what I'm talking about is actually being present and being aware and actually enjoying life every moment. We kind of look at life, I don't know if you're anything like me, but most of my life I just took life kind of for granted. I was born and I was a child, of course, and days came and they went, and new days came and new days went. But the older I get, the more I understand that life is precious. Life is really precious. And I actually talked about this morning. And if you look at time as, oh sorry, I just almost dropped you. If you look at time, or if you look at our lives as coming from some sort of line, basically. If you start in one point, you're gonna end in one point. You're gonna be born and you're gonna die. That's the obvious points that we're gonna go through, of course. But if you wanna reach your goal, if you wanna do something, if you wanna achieve something specific in your life, you have a limited amount of time to actually do that. You have to do things in quite a high pace. And I'm not saying you have to work yourself to death. But what I'm really saying, and to be honest with you, if you haven't thought about this, now is the time to think about this. But what do you really want to do with your life? Because you're going to end up one day sitting somewhere realizing that the train that you were going to get on, that was going to lead you to your goal and your destination, has already left. It's already left the station. And I got a really big moment with this a couple of years back. When it came to my physical health, I've always been in good shape, I think. I never been really ripped, you know, like having a model like body. I always had a bit of belly fat, and that's cool. I mean, I'm just a normal human and a normal dude, so I always had that. But I worked out quite a lot, especially when I worked in the military. I worked out every day. And one day I couldn't do chins. You know, you pull yourself up on somewhere. I couldn't do that. I thought everyone could do that. And I realized I couldn't. I took that for granted, that everyone can do this. And it turns out that's not the case. So I had to do something about this specific thing in my life. A couple of months after that, I realized that my knees were hurting when I played with the kids. That's a sign you're getting old, you could say, but it's not. I watched this woman the other day. She was 88 years old and running fitness classes as an instructor. So I mean, that's not getting old. That's not taking care of yourself. And what I want to say with this, I want to say that I didn't have any fitness goals, so I didn't do anything about it, which meant I just deteriorated. Every day I deteriorated. That's all that happened. And that's not ideal. To put it lightly, that's not ideal at all. But it's not just about fitness, of course. It's about life. And it comes down to what you actually want to do. And the problem that I'm seeing and I'm feeling with this is that if you don't do anything, you're going to be stuck in a place where nothing happens, where nothing changes, nothing happens for you. You're just going to go around doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to actually live your life. So then it comes down to actually being present and being aware. Where are you right now and where do you want to be? Because if you're gonna look at your life from the line I started out with, from you being born and then in the end you're gonna die, if you're gonna look at it that way, every day you need to take some kind of action to get you somewhere. By not taking any kind of action, you're not getting anywhere. And the closer you get to the point of death, that's a horrible thing to say in a stream, but the closer you get to the end of the line, the faster you have to move to get to your goal, basically. And it's not about the big leaps forward. It's not about that. Those are really good, of course. It's really nice when you have a breakthrough and when something just jumps ahead. So you really get ahead with it. It's about the small things. It's about being consistent. But it starts with the biggest things of all. What do you really want for you in your life? What are your real goals? What are you aiming for? Where do you actually want to be? It's not about being unreal, though I encourage you to be unreal, because if you want to reach the goal you have, the real goal that you have, you're not going to be able to do that as the man or woman you are today. That man or woman will have to die. Not literally, but this version of you that has all these mental blocks, all these ideas that that's not possible, and all these ideas that I can't do that, and why should anyone listen to me, or why should I be successful with this? That version needs to go. It needs to go right now. And you need to shift your mindset and your mentality around this, because otherwise you won't get anywhere. So first off, you need to decide, where are you going? What's your goal? Where are you heading with this? Where do you want to be in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Because by not doing anything, you're still going to go to that job you hate. You're still going to have the life you have right now. And that could be fine. That could be perfectly fine if that's what you really want. But if it's not what you really want, then it's awful. I look at my parents and they're fine people. But I know for a fact that they never really got around to achieving their goals in life. My dad, for instance, he was a really talented race driver. He drove rally in his days, and he was one of the best actually in Sweden. But things happened. This thing happened. I was born, and priorities shifted. So he didn't go ahead, and he didn't pursue that career for him. And of course, back then it was different than it is today. You could actually have a career in racing and rallying, and not having sponsors that put in millions and millions. But it shifted in his life, and I know for a fact that he's sorry for that. He's not sorry because priorities shifted, and I was born, of course, but he's sorry because he didn't pursue that dream of his. And he's well in his 70s now, so it's too late for him. I don't want it to be too late for you. I want you, when you're in your 70s, to say, hey, I really made it. And if this video helps you get anywhere closer to that, that's a success. So what I want you to do, if you want, otherwise don't, but I encourage you to do it, is to actually look at yourself and think, where do I want to be? Where am I going? What's the goals? And then being really present when you know where you want to go. Every day to take steps towards that goal. And I want to help you. Reach out. I want to help you with this. I want to help every single one of you with this. Because I think it's too important not to. We really need to do this for ourselves. Hey, here's one of my cats. Hey. I don't know if you could see her. She walks along with me when I'm out. It's really nice, almost like a dog. Either way, sorry about that. Choose your goals and be consistent. Do something every day that gets you closer to them. And it doesn't matter if it's a huge thing or it's a small thing, but do something. And do it consistently and do it over time. If you look at an athlete, for example, when they start out, they do their sport and their games, and whatever they're doing, whatever they're playing, and they do that because it's fun. They don't know if they're gonna get paid anywhere down the line. They dream and they hope, but they have no idea. But they love what they do, so they do it either way. And in the end of that, some of them that are consistent enough, that puts in enough time, that does enough to actually educate themselves and to train and get better and better, and they spend hours and hours perfecting their skills, they end up with a contract somewhere and they actually start getting paid. And it's the same in your life and my life. If we're too afraid to start, we'll never reach the goal. And if you want to have money in place before you start, you need to think again. You need to have your goal in place before you start. Money is the result of consistent and hard work to try to get where you want to be. So that's 10 minutes of your life. Hope those 10 minutes changed your life. Get out there and get it done. And I believe in you. You got this. Let's go own the world, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon. And now the awkward pause when I have to get my phone up from my pocket, right here, eventually, and turn off the live feed. Guys, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.